Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. So today I'm just going to have another little thought about Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr, which is a game I've talked about often on the channel. It's a game I played often, it's a game I come back to often, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it actually. So I think it's a really easy game to drop into when you want, and especially for this kind of actiony hack and slash shooter game. That's unusual. I don't know about everybody else, but as you probably know from watching the channel, I play a huge amount of games, and often I'm ongoingly, is that a word? Continuously playing or simultaneously playing, one of those is right, 2 or 3 games like this at the same time. For instance, I was playing The Division, and Watch Dogs Legion's kind of got that actiony thing to it. Cyberpunk I was playing a bit at the same time, and The Ascent I was playing at the same time. So I've been playing quite a lot of games, Rage 2 and Borderlands, so I often overlap with different games I'm playing, and that's not counting other types of games that I play as well. So often it's very hard to drop into these kind of games unless it's Watch Dogs Legion, which I played like 1 million hours in, literally, where you drop in and you can remember the controls and the schematics and how to play. But because this game is really good in that it tells you exactly where you need to go and what you need to do, you don't get confused when you drop back in. Often you drop into a game, even if it's a game you played quite a lot. I remember when I started playing Cyberpunk again after playing it tons but then leaving it a while, I found it really hard to get back into everything to do with it, and other games like that as well. Rage 2, The Ascent, they're not complicated games, they're very similar to how this game is, but because of the way they're done, it's hard to remember what you're doing, it's hard to remember where you're going or how to find out where you're going. I'll come to that in a moment because I'm going to show you what I mean by that. One thing I don't like about this game is the inventory. Now, often in games, I've got to level 57. That's quite impressive. I'm shocked. I didn't even realise. So one thing I don't like about this game is you pick up way too much stuff. That may sound very strange and a bizarre thing to say, because usually it's the opposite. We want to get more stuff and we love picking up loot, but I think in this game there's just too much loot in general. This is just from basically the last mission that I did, and you can see how much stuff I've got, and you just pick up so much stuff and you have to come to the shop and sell it. At a certain point money won't really mean a lot. You can see at the very bottom corner I've got, I don't know, 2,290,500. I've got lots of money. I don't need more money, and so all these different things aren't worth selling, and it's very rarely you get things that are better than what you've got. You will, of course, but you don't often. So basically it means coming to the shop and then going for all these things and just selling them off, which is annoying when you've seen how many things I've got. The other thing that's a bit annoying about this game, and as I've said many times, there's very few things I don't like about this game, is that often in almost every game I've ever played, colour schemes of loot is what counts. So for example in this game, the orangey purple ones are relic things, and then you've got purple ones which are kind of the next best, and then you've got blue which are next, and green which are the most common. I know it says rare, but everything's rare in this game because blue's mastercrafted, which is better than rare. But in this game it doesn't quite work like that, because often you'll find a thing that's higher leveled, for example, but it's blue or it's green, but it makes it better than a purple, or if that makes sense. So you have to go through all these things to look at and see, is that, well, okay, that's blue, but is it going to be better than that? And that's a relic orangey colour thing, but have I got a better one just because it's a higher level? And it's a bit annoying. It's a bit frustrating, and to be honest, for the last, I don't know, I'm guessing, 10, 12 levels, I've not looked at any of this, I've not changed what I've been using, because I don't think the changes matter that much, and I'm not going to keep going for every single thing to find something that's a little bit better and change it around. So I think that's the only thing I'd say. Is just too much loot. It would be better and there may be a system that does this, I've not seen it if there is, where it would dispose of inferior loot just randomly if you picked it up, or where the loot that was better than what you've got, instead of having to click on and compare every single thing, which is again ridiculously impossible, you just it just highlighted anything that's new and amazingly good, or if the things that were new and good were, you know, colour coded, so you could literally just go through and delete all the blue and the green and the purple if you got a orange on it, if that makes sense, or whatever colour. It's kind of rust colour anyway. So yeah, that's the only thing I find a bit annoying. The longer I've gone on with the game, the more I've not needed new loot, and the more I found that yeah, you can dispose of it and you can make it into scraps, you can make new stuff. But again, you get to a point where you don't desperately keep wanting to make new stuff. I've not made any new stuff or upgraded anything for another 10 levels, and it's not made a lot of difference. I'm not going to talk to her because I know she wants to tell me about some part of the game. I'm going to show you what I meant about. Oops. We'll go to here about why I think the game is easy to play. I'll just go to anywhere, it won't matter where, just to show you. Also, I've never had any crashes or any problem with this game at all, which is really good, because I think almost every game at some point you get a crash or a go there. Doesn't matter where I go, I just want to go somewhere and show you what I mean by what I was saying about it being easy. I think I've mentioned this before, but when I drop into a game, well, of course there's nothing to do in this system because I went there. I think it's really great the amount of different systems that are here, and I think the way they look is really good as well. Everything looks really nice. All the systems looked different. The artwork's nice when you've got derelict spaceships and things floating about. They look good. There's nothing to do here either. Let's go to one and see if we can find something. Let's go. Doesn't matter. Let's go anywhere. But I think the artwork's really good in this as well. It looks really nice. And also I think it perfectly fits to a Warhammer setting. Like I said, I played Necromunda now, you've known that. I play the channel, I played that a lot, and I think it fits really well into that. How it looks. And hired gun as well, although I found that difficult to play. I'll show you with this Rebel Guard thing, because it's not important what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do the mission. I just want to show you what I mean. But yeah, as you can see, it looks really nice, and I think every time I've gone to a new planet or a new place, it looks different. Of course, it's, you know, the actual mechanics of when you go there, it's wildly different because it's all these rusty space stations or ships, but they all look good, and the places you go look different. So I think that's the important thing. Yeah, I've not stopped playing this, where there's other games, some I've mentioned on the channel, probably some I haven't, was one. I enjoyed that for a week, but I don't drop back into it because it's a harder game than this, or maybe I'm not as good at it, I don't know, probably both. And also it's a harder game to get into once you've not played it for a bit. Not that it's any more fast-paced than this, because this is fast-paced, but I'll show you what I mean as soon as the screen loads, which will be kind of like now. Loading times aren't bad in this either, so he said waiting for a loading time. But yeah, I've found that this is the easiest game of all these types of games, barring Watch Dogs Legion, to kind of drop into, because often it's just confusing. So with this game, I'm going to show you now, having filled in a lot of
strategic targets located in the area. With a surgical strike, we can break their chain of command and harvest valuable data.
Right, so the voice acting is good in this game as well, by the way. There's not tons, there's your character talking and there's the main allies talking and the main enemies, but it's all done very well. It all fits very well with the aesthetic of the game. what it's trying to do. But yeah, as I was saying, on the left you can see that whole little panel, which is really unusual. You don't get that in many games, and it's got, basically it tells you, if you don't remember what you're going to do, it tells you, so you can see exactly what each thing does. It tells you you've got how to do the different abilities. You swap your gun, it tells you which different shot you want to use. It says there L2, tells you what that is. So, throw a grenade, which I just did on myself, but that's not the point. And it tells you exactly what it is you need to do. So unlike any of the games I mentioned previously, the Ascent or whatever, you have to kind of remember, and often you don't, because you've played so many games and you're playing so many games, sometimes you've not played a game for a long time, that you don't remember. And it's very hard when you're having to keep looking at what you're doing and trying to remember what you do, and it's very easy. But yeah, it's very hard. But this game, it makes it very easy. And the other thing about this game, which I think is really fantastic, and I say this having played, I've been playing a few games on Steam. I've always played games on Steam. I used to play tons, like Total War. But I've been playing games a little bit on Steam recently. And one of the games I played, actually a couple of games I've been playing, is a game called Colony Ship and one called Rogue Trader. Actually Warhammer Rogue Trader, which I've been playing on Steam, and both those games are good, but they do the opposite to this, especially Colony Ship, where you end up running around all over the place without knowing where you're meant to go. They're very bad at telling you where to go, and I don't think developers take note. I don't think it's much fun running around looking for places where you're meant to go in missions. Is a big difference between an open world game like Cyberpunk or Dragon Age Inquisition or The Witcher, where you've got a massive open world and part of the fun is going around exploring new things. But in these kind of CRPG, smaller area games, which this is, which the Ascent is, which Rogue Trader is, and which Colony Ship is, there's absolutely no fun in running round and round the same bits of corridors or the same passages or the same things over and over again, trying to find someone you're meant to talk to or some place you're meant to find without really knowing why or where it is. And this game is really good because I've never once in this game felt lost, ever. You come into a mission, you get the map, which shows you exactly where you need to go, it shows you where the enemies are, it shows you from those little glowy things where the places you need to go in the game, in the mission are, and you never get lost. You never ever get lost. Even if you finish it or you want to find out where a chest is you've missed or some loot, it will show you, and it shows you can see now, it shows you where the enemies are, it will show, so everything's given to you, and that's good because that's what this game is. It's not trying to be a let's discover secret places game. It's trying to be a shooter with a story, which again is like the games I mentioned, but this game makes it simple so you don't just end up running around. And I think if this game either A, had much more hard to remember gameplay, which is didn't have that thing on the left where it tells you all the controls do straight up, or B, it didn't tell you where you're meant to go, I wouldn't have kept coming back. Although I really enjoy this game, I don't want to be running over there, over here, all over the place trying to find where my objective is and not knowing if I've done it, and then it's not fun. And again, trying to remember all the controls, that's maybe just me, but again, it's really good to come in and kind of see it on the screen. It even tells you when you need to reload. So yeah, I think it's a really quality of life game. The quality of life, if only they'd sorted out the loot, which is a little minor gripe on my part, that's just because I'm lazy really, but the quality of life in the actual missions is fantastic, because you get it all given to you, and that's what you want when you just want to go around shooting alien shit. So I think it does exactly what it says on the tin. It does exactly what it's trying to do, and it doesn't waste your time. And I think that's a really that's probably the reason I wanted to make this video actually. I think it's a really important thing in life, in gaming, games that waste your time, because they think for some reason it's fun to, and it can be different things. It can be keep repeating missions because you die. You find it hard to jump somewhere. I've told you in other videos I can't stand that thing where you've got to jump over something and you keep falling and doing it over and over again. Games where you die and start the mission again, all these kind of things. But one of my pet peeves in games is games that waste your time because they don't really explain where you're meant to go and there's nothing to explore much. You're just running around and round and round in circles, running up and down corridors, running back down corridors, going to a place you've been earlier because you went to other places and they weren't right, so you think it must have been something you missed and you haven't missed it. It's really in the that kind of thing. That's quality of life, and it's also time because we haven't got time to be running round and round in circles in games, and it makes you kind of tired. I mean, you know, it makes your eyes tired, it makes you mentally tired. So I appreciate quality of life things in games that cut your wasted time, and I count wasted time is anything that's not enjoyable in a game. So if you enjoy combat, then fighting and getting killed and coming back can be fun. But running round and round in circles and running round and round looking for objectives that aren't pinpointed, that you can't find, and sometimes they're not specifically even mentioned in a journal or your quest. I'm looking at you, colony ship. That's annoying, and the fact that this game gives it to you all and you don't have to think about any of that because you don't want to think about any of that makes it a really excellent game to just drop into and play, and that's what we want to do with any game. We just want to come in and play, and I think the best games ever are the games that you can just get into straight away. And so yeah, Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr is a game I will probably always drop back into because it's got tons of content. I've not actually started any of the side missions or the DLC missions. There's tons, and I got them all in a bundle, and I've not tried any of them yet. I've not gone to the void quest, I've not finished the main quest, so there's tons and tons of stuff to do, and that's the seasons missions as well I've not really got back into since I started. So there's tons of stuff still I decided to concentrate on this one character mission, although I started about 3 and I had a season mission to do, but I decided to just concentrate on this one. But yeah, there's tons of stuff to do, and I think I'll always drop back into this game because it's so easy to get into and it doesn't waste your time once you're in it. Anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. I think this went on longer than I expected, but anyway, take care till next time.